Om Namah Shivaya.
If the Shiva Linga truly has power, why does it seem to change some lives while leaving others unchanged? Is destiny already written somewhere beyond us? Or do ancient myths quietly teach us how to shape it ourselves? And what is the honest truth about the Shiva Linga that is often misunderstood, even by those who respect it deeply? Across history, people facing fear, loss, illness, or uncertainty have turned to symbols for strength. This is not weakness, it is human nature. When life feels unstable, the mind looks for something steady. In many parts of the world, the Shiva Linga became such a symbol. Factually, it is one of the most important symbols in Shiva traditions, described and discussed in texts like the Shiva Purana, which can be studied today through published translations and academic research. What is often debated, however, is how its power works. Some believe the power lives inside the stone itself. Others, including many scholars and teachers, explain that its meaning is symbolic, not mechanical. Ancient myths were rarely meant to promise miracles on demand. They were designed to teach people how to live with awareness, discipline, and courage. The Shiva Linga represents stillness, balance, and the idea of something beyond form. When people sit, focus, chant, or reflect before it, the change that happens is mainly inside the human mind. Modern psychology supports this idea. Focused attention and calm breathing can reduce stress and improve decision-making. This does not require blind belief, only honest practice. In this video, we will carefully explore what is fact, what is interpretation, and what remains debated. We will connect ancient ideas with real-life problems like fear of failure, loss of direction, and the search for meaning. If you want a clear, respectful, and grounded understanding without exaggeration, stay with us until the end. And if you value thoughtful content like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more honest explorations. Have you ever asked yourself why people, in times of fear or uncertainty, often turn to objects, rituals, or symbols for guidance? Why does a simple stone or symbol sometimes feel more powerful than our own choices? And what if the answer isn't in the object itself, but in how it changes the person who respects it? Humans have always faced situations that feel beyond their control. Losing a job, facing illness, going through a difficult relationship, or experiencing sudden loss can make anyone feel powerless. In these moments, the mind searches for something stable, something it can trust. Across centuries, sacred objects like the Shiva Linga have served as anchors in this search. According to the Shiva Purana, the linga represents the infinite, formless aspect of divinity, not a magical device that automatically changes reality. Scholars and religious teachers explain that its effect comes from focus, meditation, and the mind's response to ritual, not the stone itself. Historically, early civilizations used symbols to make sense of life's unknowns. These symbols provided structure, calm, and a sense of control in a chaotic world. The Shiva Linga, in particular, is made of stone, which symbolizes durability and permanence. Its stillness reflects the human desire for stability in the face of uncertainty. When people sit before it, chant, or reflect, they are engaging in practices that train the mind to focus, reduce fear, and build patience. Modern psychology confirms that repeated focused attention and rhythmic practices can significantly calm stress and improve decision-making, showing that the power of sacred objects often comes from within us. But here is a question to consider. If the linga's influence is really about shaping our own minds, what does this mean for the way we face challenges today? Can understanding the symbolic purpose of sacred objects help us take control of our own lives? And if human awareness is the key, could the linga's true power lie in teaching us discipline and calm rather than granting miracles? In this chapter, we explore why humans project power onto objects, how myths and rituals shaped this understanding, and why the Shiva Linga became a symbol of steadiness. Keep watching, because in the next part, we will uncover what the Shiva Linga really symbolizes and how understanding this can change the way you think about destiny itself. Have you ever wondered why the Shiva Linga is shaped the way it is and why it has been worshipped for thousands of years? Could it be that its true power does not come from the stone itself, but from what it represents? And if it is a symbol rather than a tool, what lessons does it quietly teach us about life, destiny, and the way we face challenges? The Shiva Linga, described in the Shiva Purana, is much more than a simple object of worship. Scholars explain that it symbolizes formlessness, eternity, and the infinite nature of existence. Unlike objects that are meant to be tools, the linga's purpose is to focus attention and help a person connect with a larger truth. Historically, stone was chosen not for its magical properties, but because it represents stability, endurance, and permanence. Its stillness reminds the devotee to cultivate inner calm in the midst of life's chaos. Many people think the power lies inside the stone. However, both scripture interpretations and psychological studies suggest the real effect comes from what the linga inspires within the human mind. When someone sits before it, meditates, or chants, the mind learns focus, patience, and awareness. Modern research on meditation and repetitive rituals shows that structured attention can reduce stress, improve decision-making, and even strengthen emotional resilience. This explains why millions of people across centuries felt a sense of calm and direction through their practice, even if nothing magical happened outside. But here is a question to consider. If the linga's power is about shaping the mind rather than controlling events, how might this change our understanding of destiny? Could it be that the rituals and symbols we honor are mirrors reflecting our own potential rather than sources of magic? And if the linga is a guide to awareness, what other lessons might it hold for dealing with fear, failure, or uncertainty in modern life? In this chapter, we explore how symbolism works in shaping focus and understanding, why stone was used for its durability, and how the linga teaches stillness and awareness. As we move to the next part, we will dive into the question of destiny itself, whether it is fixed, or if understanding these symbols can actually help us guide our own path. Keep watching to uncover deeper truths about how the Shiva Linga connects with the choices we make every day. Have you ever asked yourself if your life is already written, or if you truly have the power to change it? If your actions today influence tomorrow, how much of your destiny is in your hands? And what can ancient teachings like those in Shiva philosophy really teach us about shaping the life we want? In Shiva thought, destiny is rarely seen as something fixed. Lord Shiva is described as Anadi and Ananta, which means without beginning and without end. This idea, mentioned in the Shiva Purana and discussed in many philosophical commentaries, suggests that life flows like a river. While circumstances may influence us, destiny is more about direction than final outcome. It is shaped by awareness, choices, and actions, rather than being predetermined like a written script. Many people misunderstand karma as punishment or reward, thinking that past mistakes will always limit the future. In reality, karma is cause and effect. Every action produces consequences, but understanding this gives us the chance to make better choices moving forward. For example, a student who studies consistently will likely achieve better results than one who relies on luck. Yet the effort itself changes the outcome. This principle is the same as what myths of Shiva and the Linga teach. Focus and awareness influence what unfolds. Consider this. If destiny is more about how we act and less about what is fated, what would change in the way we approach challenges? Could learning to act with intention, rather than fear, help us create the future we hope for? And if our understanding of karma and destiny is mistaken, what opportunities might we be missing every day? The teachings of Shiva philosophy show that even when life feels uncertain, small actions guided by awareness accumulate into meaningful change. Habits, choices, and discipline all influence the path we follow, and recognizing this can transform fear into purpose. As we continue, we will explore how these principles connect with the Shiva Linga itself, not as a magical object, but as a symbol that encourages focus, patience, and inner clarity. Stay with us, because the next chapter will reveal how the Linga works in the mind and why understanding this can help you face uncertainty with confidence. Have you ever wondered what truly changes when someone worships the Shiva Linga? Does the stone itself hold power, or is there something deeper happening inside the mind of the person who approaches it with respect? And if the effects are internal rather than external, how can this understanding help us face fear, stress, or difficult decisions in life? The truth, supported by both scripture and modern research, is that the Shiva Linga works primarily through the mind of the devotee. When someone sits quietly before it, focuses attention, and engages in chanting or meditation, the mind begins to calm. Scientific studies on meditation and repetitive rituals show that focusing attention in a structured way can lower stress, improve clarity, and even enhance emotional resilience. The Linga acts as a visual and mental anchor, allowing the devotee to direct their awareness inward rather than becoming lost in anxiety or fear. This is not about magic. The Linga is a symbol reflecting stillness, stability, and focus. Stone, being durable and unchanging, mirrors the inner steadiness a person can cultivate. Breath and sound are part of the process as well. When chanting, the rhythm of the words and the pace of breathing help regulate the nervous system, creating a sense of calm and balance. This makes it easier to respond wisely to challenges rather than react impulsively. Consider this. If the Linga's power is really the power of focused attention, what does that mean for the way we handle stress today? Could a simple symbol or ritual guide our minds toward better decisions without requiring external intervention? And if awareness is the key, could learning to focus like this transform our approach to problems, relationships, and opportunities? The inner mechanism of the Shiva Linga teaches us that real change starts with the mind. By using symbols, stillness, sound, and breath, humans can train themselves to act with clarity, patience, and intention. These practices are supported by both the symbolic meaning of the Linga in the Shiva Purana and by scientific observations on attention and meditation. In the next chapter, we will explore the difficult truth many avoid, that the Linga does not remove responsibility, and that facing this truth can actually make us stronger. Stay with us to understand how true power comes from accepting responsibility and working with awareness. Have you ever wondered why some people rely on rituals, sacred objects, or symbols and still face disappointment? Could it be that the real power of these objects does not lie in what they do for us, but in what we are willing to do for ourselves? And if we avoid this truth, are we missing the most important lesson the Shiva Linga teaches? The difficult truth is that the Shiva Linga does not remove responsibility from the devotee. It cannot make life's problems disappear or guarantee success in work, health, or relationships. While many myths and traditions describe its power, the real lesson is about cultivating discipline, awareness, and focus. The Linga encourages the mind to still itself, reflect, and act intentionally. But the results depend on the effort of the person practicing these principles. Blind faith without action often leads to frustration and misunderstanding. Historically, spiritual teachers emphasized this repeatedly. Ancient texts like the Shiva Purana describe rituals and devotion not as shortcuts to results, but as tools for training the mind. The repetition of chanting, meditation, and attention to symbols strengthens patience, clarity, and resilience. In modern life, the same principle applies. Practices like focused meditation or mindful reflection improve how we respond to stress, yet only if combined with effort and responsibility in daily life. Think about this. If relying solely on ritual without self-effort is ineffective, how often do we unknowingly limit ourselves by expecting external solutions? Could facing this uncomfortable truth actually free us to take more control over our choices? And if we accept that personal effort and awareness are the true sources of transformation, what opportunities might open that we never noticed before? Understanding this truth also changes the way we see fear and uncertainty. Instead of seeking external rescue, we learn that calm focus, repeated effort, and reflection can help us navigate life's challenges. The Linga symbolizes this process, reminding us that real change starts from within. As we move to the next chapter, we will explore why Shiva is called the destroyer, not of people or luck, but of illusion, fear, and misunderstanding, and how this deeper symbolism can teach us to face life courageously. Keep watching to discover how destruction can actually create space for clarity and inner strength. Have you ever wondered why Shiva, one of the most revered gods in Hinduism, is called the destroyer? Does this mean destruction is something to fear, or could it hold a hidden lesson about life, fear, and understanding? And if destruction is not about removing people or events, what is it really teaching us about facing our own challenges? The term destroyer can seem frightening at first, but in the deeper context of Shiva philosophy, it refers to the destruction of ignorance, illusion, and fear, rather than external things. The Shiva Linga, as a symbol, is closely connected to this concept. It reminds devotees that inner clarity and transformation come from removing what blinds us, negative patterns, confusion, and attachment, rather than waiting for an external solution. Ancient texts like the Shiva Purana describe rituals and meditations that help the mind let go of distractions and false beliefs, symbolically destroying what prevents growth. Fear is often the hidden enemy in human life. People get stuck in habits, doubts, and limiting thoughts. The practices associated with the Linga, including focus, meditation, and reflection, help confront fear calmly rather than letting it control actions. Just as destruction in nature clears space for new growth, Shiva's symbolic destruction clears the mind for understanding and wisdom. Emotional resilience grows when fear is faced rather than avoided. Think about this. If destruction can be about clearing obstacles in the mind rather than physical events, how might that change the way you see challenges in your own life? Could facing fear and confusion directly actually give you more freedom than avoiding them? And if the Shiva Linga encourages this process, What hidden lessons might everyday symbols be offering us without us noticing? The deeper symbolism of Shiva as the destroyer teaches that transformation is not passive. It requires courage, awareness, and willingness to let go of what no longer serves us. The Linga serves as a guide for this inner process, showing that true power lies in clarity, not in avoiding difficulties. In the next chapter, we will explore how all of these teachings can be applied in modern life, helping anyone, regardless of belief, take control of their choices and navigate uncertainty with confidence. Stay with us to discover practical wisdom inspired by this ancient symbol. Have you ever wondered how ancient symbols like the Shiva Linga can matter in today's busy, modern life? Could a practice that began thousands of years ago really help anyone, regardless of age, belief, or background? And if these teachings are about inner focus and awareness, how can they change the way we make decisions, respond to stress, and shape our own destiny? The key lesson is that the Shiva Linga teaches principles that are universal. Its meaning goes beyond religion or ritual. The Linga encourages stillness, reflection, and awareness. When we bring this into our modern lives, we learn that real change comes from consistent effort, mindful attention, and intentional choices. Small habits, repeated over time, influence outcomes far more than luck or waiting for external intervention. For example, taking a few minutes each day to reflect quietly on decisions, organize priorities, or calm the mind before acting can lead to clearer thinking, less stress, and better results at work, school, or relationships. Awareness and practice are more important than belief. Scientific studies on meditation, focus, and attention show that people who practice simple routines of reflection, breathing, or mindful observation develop resilience, emotional clarity, and stronger problem-solving skills. The Linga acts as a symbol to remind us of this power within ourselves. Its stillness mirrors the calm we can cultivate, and its permanence reminds us that steady effort produces long-lasting results. Think about this. If focus, patience, and clarity are the true sources of transformation, how might that change the way you approach challenges today? Could learning to pause, reflect, and act with intention help you navigate fear, uncertainty, or confusion more effectively? And if even small, consistent practices can gradually shape your life, what opportunities are waiting that you may have overlooked? The Shiva Linga, in essence, is a guide for practical wisdom. It teaches that transformation is not about external miracles, but about building inner strength, making thoughtful choices, and shaping destiny through awareness. By applying these timeless lessons in everyday life, anyone can face challenges with courage, reduce fear, and gradually take control of their path. This understanding completes the journey from symbolism to practical action, showing that ancient teachings are alive not in myths alone, but in how we choose to live our lives today. As we reach the end of this journey, it becomes clear that the power of the Shiva Linga is not about magic, miracles, or shortcuts. Its true significance lies in what it teaches us about awareness, focus, and personal responsibility. Across centuries, people have turned to it for guidance, but the transformation happens inside the mind, not in the stone itself. This idea is described in texts like the Shiva Purana, which explain that devotion, meditation, and ritual are ways to cultivate inner strength rather than ways to control destiny directly. The Linga represents stillness, stability, and formlessness, reminding us that life is shaped by our choices, attention, and effort. When we practice focus, reflection, or meditation, we train our minds to respond calmly to stress, uncertainty, and fear. Modern research on attention and mindfulness confirms these benefits, showing that structured focus improves decision-making, emotional balance, and resilience. The ancient symbolism aligns with practical outcomes, demonstrating that spiritual practices were designed to help people live with clarity and purpose, not to guarantee instant results. The most important lesson is that true power comes from within. Fear, confusion, and limiting beliefs can be overcome when we act with intention, awareness, and patience. The Shiva Linga serves as a guide, reminding us to cultivate these qualities every day. Life may remain uncertain, but understanding this truth gives us the tools to face challenges courageously, make better decisions, and take control of our own path. Think about this. If ancient symbols like the Linga can teach us practical wisdom for modern life, how might you apply focus, discipline, and awareness in your own daily choices? How could these small, consistent actions change your future? By seeing the Linga as a guide rather than a magical object, we can unlock lessons that are timeless, useful, and deeply empowering for anyone seeking clarity and strength.